Hello, Chattanooga. Welcome to another episode of Footnotes. It's so good to have you here with us today. I'm Sam Hodem.
Dylan Roberts.
Hey, thank you for taking time out of your week, out of your busy schedule to join us. If you haven't joined us with Footnotes before, Footnotes is it's a ministry of CAC. It's we release this every week in the middle of the week to look back at the Sunday before. We talk about the service. We talk about the things that God's doing, but we kind of do the footnotes of that. And today I have with me Dylan. He's normally a producer, and so you don't see him a whole lot, but he has fingerprints on every piece of technology here at CAC.
Yeah, I'm usually behind the camera.
Yeah, and I appreciate him taking some time out of his schedule to sit down with me and talk about this past weekend. We had several things. What were some of the couple of things that we had this past weekend at CAC?
Yeah, we had a lot of Connect group get-togethers.
Yeah, it was Connect Week, Month.
Connect Month. Yeah, so that was fun. A lot of different families getting together, playing some games, having some food, fellowship. We also had a course come in. Shout out to the Chattanooga Police Department. They came in and did a safety course with us. That was
Officer
great.
Cook.
Yeah, Officer Cook did a great job. Kind of opening up, giving us some good tools and things to help us kind of be aware of within the day and age that we live in now.
And can I just say, we this past weekend there was a church in Michigan attacked, and it was a weird, wild circumstance. We're praying for them because that's terrible. Yeah. But I will say that we're trying to do our best to make sure that we're as prepared as possible, as I'm sure they were, and just our hearts go out to them for sure. In moving on from that, I will say it was so good. They give us a lot of good information, and if you go to a church, that you're not at CAC, I encourage you to reach out to your police department.
Yes,
they probably have some resources there for churches, houses of worship, to help get you guys started, because they do that for a living. You wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a dedicated team that, like most of the police department, they started with Homeland Security and started as a dedicated resource. One of the things that we took away from that, right, was the biggest part is that you can be a deterrent by just going up and shaking somebody's hand. Yeah, like that was one of the things.
Especially
that we
if
went
your
back
breath
to.
is bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it was a major deterrent of just most people and that human instinct, like we just want to be noticed.
Yeah.
And that part is, we can do that in everyday life of just going up and just saying hello, just being friendly.
I believe that mankind is broken. Yeah. Always. I believe that God is the answer always.
Right.
And Pastor preached about that a little bit this weekend. He came at it from his title was all, and I didn't know what his title was.
It took a minute, but the way he was going into it, for sure.
I was like, man, where's he going with this today? He read through some Titus. And he talked about investing. Something I thought was interesting was he talked about the stock market for a minute.
Yeah.
He talked about, he was like, how many of you invest in things that you don't control? And then he used the stock market as an example. We don't control the stock market.
No.
But our retirements are tied up in it, our livelihood.
Well, it's like anything else, right? Like when you take and you invest time into something, or you invest in the stock market, that's not a guarantee. None of it's ever a guarantee that you're going to get more out of it. You're hoping that, for those of us that have been around for a while, and Amazon and Apple and stuff like that, that's a 20 years ago that wasn't a big thing.
You're hoping to get on the IPO of Amazon.
Exactly. So you're hoping that like that's going to come out of it, and kind of the way that I took from it was that the investments that we put into everyday life, the investments that we put into people and our kids, our family,
and spiritual things.
And spiritual. You don't know where that's going to come back from. You don't know if that's going to be a return, but by simulating and going in and doing that, you're praying that there's going to be a return out of that.
I will say, and he talked about it from the sense of things we cannot control.
Yeah.
A lot of times we only want to invest in the things that we can control because we can see that hand to eye. Well, guess what? We will, we get our reward then. But when we invest in the things we can't control, God, I am casting my bread upon the water.
Right.
And that analogy in the Bible, casting the bread upon the water, that's a foolish thing to do because bread and water don't mix. It ruins the bread, right? But so many times we try and measure our investments by our ability versus God's ability, spiritually speaking. And so if we will cast our bread upon the water, maybe the foolish areas that we deem, but then God's reward of it.
Well, even in saying that too, it's our talents too.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of aspects that like we do different things and we work and we do stuff for the kingdom, but when you cast those talents and you do that out of obedience, going to what he was talking about, like going into the obedience, like man, when he hit that, it was something. Which, by the way, if you didn't get a chance, you guys can go back and please tune into that service and kind of see what we're talking about. But basically that obedience of utilizing talents, utilizing our abilities that God has given us, and then putting that out there, that's us acting in obedience to his word. And when we act in obedience to his word, he rewards that.
He used it in Philippians 2, and he read several verses there, but in verse 8 it says, "In being found," it's talking of Jesus, "and being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross."
Yeah.
And then and then later it's like, "Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus." You're like,
which by the way,
you're like, what?
In the instant thought, you're just like, wait, so now I've got to go to the cross and I've got to die? And in other words, he is saying that. Mm-hmm. He's saying, go to the cross, die daily. It's not the same type of where he died on the cross because he did that for us, but we still have to act in remembrance and do that activity of dying daily. And that's putting our flesh in check.
And in some ways, that's hard. Yeah. I don't know that I want to say harder, but in some ways it is almost as hard because here's the thing. If you're going to die on the cross, unless you're Jesus Christ, you only die on the cross once.
Yep.
And so you're like, all right, I'm sacrificing myself for my family.
Yeah.
I made that decision. Oh, you mean I got to make that again tomorrow?
And then again the day after tomorrow.
And then again next week.
Yeah. And that's why I think that, like, I don't know if it was this week or last week. I think it was this week, but he did make mention that, broad is the path, very broad is the path to hell.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's easier.
It's very easy. You don't have to try to get there. It's, we're all going there if we don't make a choice to go somewhere else. Yeah. And getting to heaven is it's not easy. And that's
There's a reason they call it the straight and narrow.
Yeah,
right?
it's easy salvation, yes, but the life that you have to continue to live.
Well, he talked about that, and this was where I was trying to figure out where he was going. I was like, he was talking about the grace that leads us, the grace that and mercy, and was going through all those things because I do think what he was. There is an attitude of perfectionism that we get a hold of ourselves of I'm not perfect. Well, I just and we get like almost a paralysis about us spiritually speaking.
Yeah,
I'm not perfect, so I'm staying away from everything. And yes, I understand where that comes from. Like I understand because no one's perfect. I understand the point of, but then it's all right. Get over yourself. Mm-hmm. Like and in reality, that's what that is. That's us trying to make our issue bigger than God.
Yeah.
And that's somebody could abuse that, but let's assume some positive intent here. Let's assume some positive, all right, God, I am trying my best to live for you.
Exactly.
And we will hold ourselves back from what God's trying to do for us. And he got to this. He talked about revival for a moment. We will miss out on the revival that God has for us. We get caught Uh, what those things in the mall where you would drop a penny,
No.
well, or merry-go-round, but like you drop a penny or a quarter in it,
Yeah.
or if you were rich, a gold dollar. Like I don't know anybody that did that, but you drop it and it goes. This is showing our age. Malls are now extinct, right? And no one has change, but it goes in, it just goes around, and sometimes we do that around our problem.
Yeah. We'll sit there and dance around it and see what we can do. And from that part,
we feel bad about ourselves.
Or the other thing, this one really got me, is that sometimes we have a problem or we have a situation, and then someone will say something, and we get offended.
Oh, and we did deal with offense,
and we focus more on the offense than we do on the problem.
Yeah,
and which then, while we're doing that, this problem is just sitting here kind of laughing at us, because we're sitting here again dancing around it and focusing on the offense, when most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, the people that we get offended by don't even know that they offended us,
or they loved us enough to offend us.
Exactly. And that's something that I think, when we're looking at the sense of obedience, the sense of awe, the sense of dying on the cross daily.
Yeah.
When we, one of the other things he hit on was the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And, knowing those fruits and seeing those things, you're going to know kind of if it's easy to, and this was something even in my personal life, growing up and stuff, of trying to understand when not to be offended, and when, somebody was trying to give me corrective, constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Is that knowing that, hey, sometimes you just got to hear the hard truth. And part of that is, and if sometimes people will tell us that, but sometimes it's already written in the Word, and if we're staying up with the Word, it's going to correct us the same way, and that's how we kind of see that those two are going hand in hand.
Can I go back to then this little merry-go-round of coins here? We know what that is.
Yeah.
All right, and if you can picture that in your head, in your mind's eye, if you can picture that little thing just going around, and our issues right here.
Yeah.
Right in the center, and we will get so focused on that. We will go dance all around it. We will dance all around it. God, that's definitely not what you want out of me, God. That's not what you want me to give up. That's not what you want me to. And all of a sudden, if it keeps going, it gets sucked down in it.
Yeah.
And we'll hold ourselves, if I may, in that spiritual pattern instead of relying upon the grace and the mercy of God to reset us and pull us out of that. We just focus on that. God, I would do this. You're calling me to this, and I would do it, but I got to get this.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, let me just wash that away.
Yep. You're worried about this.
Yeah.
It's not even on my radar. Don't even worry about it.
Just get that under the blood, man. He ended it talking about all. When he brought out all, I was like, oh, this is.
Yeah.
And he said, when Christ gave it, he gave it all. He didn't just prick his finger a little bit and just say, sprinkle a little blood and say, oh, that's it.
Man,
he said, no, it's all.
He hit so much on that point that I don't know if you caught the story that he told about his pastor.
Oh yeah.
And the fact of, sometimes we'll be listening to a message, or we'll be listening to a service, and we'll think that is what the word is for us. And God is sitting there talking to us, and because we're so wrapped up in everything else, there's a word that's going out for other people, and we're hearing that one, thinking that that's for us, and God's sitting here talking directly to us, saying, here's a word, here's what I'm trying to tell you, but we're so fixated on something else or someone else's problems or something else. Yeah. That we missed that word. That was, if you get a chance to, honestly, I'm not going to repeat his story, because it was so good. If you get a chance, honestly, go watch it, go listen to it. I told him after service too, I was like, I've been around the church for 10, 11 years at Cornerstone, and I've never heard that story. Yeah. And that was something to me. I was like, wow, that's huge, because even for us and for a lot of us that have been around the church for a while, you don't realize that God works talking to multiple people through multiple different ways to soften the heart and to get the message out.
I heard one minister put it this way. He said, if you're reading the word and you're looking through a telescope at someone else,
yeah, you're missing you're missing the island.
That's not the way to read the word. He said the word is it's a mirror we hold up to ourselves. I honestly encourage you, if you're on YouTube, at the end of this, the sermon will pop up and it'll give you the option to go and watch it. I want to leave you with this note that Pastor left with us. The devil is trying to everything he knows to do to get a foothold in your life.
Yeah.
Don't let him.
Yep.
And you know where he's trying to get a foothold. If you're honest with yourself, you know, God, you're this. Yep. All right. And it'll change. It's different at different times. But the devil doesn't like you. He does not have your best interest at heart, but God does. Yeah. So I encourage you today. I want to end it the way that Pastor ended with us. Is he gave a call to repentance. He gave a call to prayer of, all right, God, I give you my all. I am rededicating. I am repenting. I am reviving myself and my walk with you. And I want to encourage you to do that. Dylan, thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I encourage you guys, go and listen to the sermon. If you have any prayer requests, any comments, any questions, please reach out to us, www.cachattanooga.org. We'll be so happy, or leave a comment on Facebook. We'll be so happy to interact with you. Let us know how we can pray for you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.